asking for the vote of every single African-American citizen.
Lights, camera, controversy. Hollywood is no stranger to scandal, but some stars take it to another level. While we love seeing them on the big screen, off-screen, their behavior ranges from shocking to downright unforgivable. From racist remarks to toxic work environments, these celebs have left a stain on their legacies that no PR team can fully clean up. In this video, we're diving deep into Hollywood's most problematic A-listers, some of whom you may never see the same way again. Buckle up, because this list is about to get messy. Did you know that Community star Chevy Chase allegedly used racial slurs against his co-stars? Or that John Wayne openly supported white supremacy? And let's not forget Mel Gibson's infamous anti-Semitic tirade that tanked his career. Don't just take our word for it. Wait till the end and let us know what you think. Are some of these celebrities beyond redemption? Or can people truly change? Let's get into it. Number 25, Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase, known for his roles in National Lampoon and Community, has a long history of being difficult to work with. However, his off-screen behavior is even worse. During his time on Community, Chase was accused of using racial slurs against his co-stars, particularly Donald Glover. Reports claim he made insensitive comments about Glover's race, creating a toxic environment on set.
Hey y'all, it's David Begnaud. So TVLine.com reporting the 69-year-old Community actor. He used the N-word on set. He was complaining about the increasingly racist trajectory his character, Pierce Hawthorne, is taking on the NBC show. He reportedly asked if his character would say the N-word next, except he said the N-word. Chase did apologize, but Community's hardcore fans are not happy with him.
In a shocking incident, Chase allegedly used the N-word in an argument with the show's creator, Dan Harmon. Unfortunately, his racial insensitivity wasn't limited to Community. Former Saturday Night Live cast members have spoken about his inappropriate jokes and arrogance. Even Bill Murray once got into a physical altercation with him over his behavior. Chase's career has never fully recovered, with many former colleagues refusing to work with him again. Number 24, Katharine Hepburn. A Hollywood legend, Katharine Hepburn was known for her fierce independence and strong performances. But behind the scene, her views on race were shockingly problematic. In a 1967 interview, Hepburn made racist remarks about Black Americans, questioning their intelligence and capabilities. These comments resurfaced years later, tarnishing her legacy. Unlike many of her contemporaries who used their platforms to support the civil rights movement, Hepburn remained largely silent, leading to criticism of her passive stance on racial issues. Additionally, her early films often included racial stereotypes, and she never publicly acknowledged the harm caused by such portrayals. While celebrated for challenging gender norms, Hepburn's lack of advocacy for racial equality remains a dark spot in her otherwise iconic career. Number 23, Gwyneth Paltrow, the founder of Goop and a self-proclaimed wellness guru, has faced numerous accusations of racial insensitivity. In 2012, Paltrow landed in hot water when she tweeted the N-word while referencing a Jay-Z and Kanye West song. Despite claiming she was merely quoting lyrics, the backlash was swift, with many criticizing her for using the term so casually. She also faced controversy in 2016 after posting a photo of a group of Black women and captioning it, "We're all the same." Critics called the post tone-deaf and accused her of using Black women as props for a performative message. Additionally, Goop has been accused of cultural appropriation, selling products like spirit animal jewelry and promoting wellness practices borrowed from indigenous cultures without proper acknowledgement. These repeated missteps have led many to question Paltrow's awareness and sincerity regarding racial issues. Number 22, Charlie Sheen. His career has been plagued with scandals, but one of his most shocking moments involved racist remarks. In 2011, Sheen used a racial slur to insult his former boss, Two and a Half Men creator Chuck Lorre, during a heated radio interview. The backlash was immediate, forcing Sheen to issue a public apology. However, this was not the first time he had been accused of racism. Actress April D. Taylor, a former co-star, claimed Sheen frequently made racist jokes on set. Additionally, reports surfaced that Sheen had used derogatory language about black actors and other minorities throughout his career. His erratic behavior, fueled by substance abuse, further damaged his reputation. Once one of the highest-paid actors in television, Sheen's repeated controversies, including racist remarks, have permanently derailed his career. Number 21, John Wayne. He was a Hollywood legend, but his views on race were deeply problematic.
Well, we have 20 million blacks on this continent.
Right.
It was necessary to extend rights to them that perhaps for the first 199 years were denied them in this free America.
I guess that they've had a pretty tough break, but not quite as bad as you and your do-gooder friends would have them believe. They live as well here as they live in any other country over that 199 years.
In a now infamous 1971 Playboy interview, Wayne openly supported white supremacy, stating that he believed in white dominance until black people were educated to a point of responsibility. He also admitted he had no remorse about the treatment of Native Americans, shockingly justifying their suffering as necessary. Wayne's films often reinforce racial stereotypes, portraying indigenous people as savages and glorifying colonial violence.
You can call me father, you can call me Jacob, you can call me Jake, you can call me a dirty son of a bitch. But if you ever call me daddy again, I'll finish this fight.
His stance on civil rights was also dismissive, as he opposed movements fighting for racial equality. While still revered by many for his on-screen persona, Wayne's legacy remains tainted by his racist remarks and outdated beliefs. Number 20, Mel Gibson. Mel has a long history of racist and anti-Semitic remarks that have overshadowed his once thriving career. In 2006, Gibson was arrested for a DUI and launched into an anti-Semitic rant, blaming Jewish people for all the wars in the world. The incident shocked Hollywood, leading to widespread condemnation. In 2010, recordings surfaced of Gibson making racist remarks toward his ex-girlfriend, Oksana Grigorieva, including the infamous line, "If you get raped by a pack of N-words, it will be your fault."
I don't work around in tight clothes. I stay at home for most of the time.
Public, and it's a embarrassment to me. You look like a on heat, and if you get raped by a pack, it'll be your fault. All right? Because you provoked it. You are provocatively dressed all the time with your fake boobs you feel you have to show off in tight outfits and tight pants and stuff. You see your from behind. And that green thing today was enough. That's provocative. Okay?
These tapes confirm that many had suspected that Gibson's deep-seated prejudices. Although he has attempted to come back in Hollywood, many still refuse to work with him due to his past racist outbursts. Tired of expensive, low-effort script writers for your YouTube channel? Autoscriptor AI is the ultimate solution. Say goodbye to low-quality, poorly retention amateur scripts that fail to generate thousands of views for your channel. At a fraction of the cost, Autoscriptor AI helps your videos go viral. In just 3 steps, Autoscriptor AI creates a polished script tailored to your needs. Just input your title concept, select your tone and style. The intuitive interface makes editing and refining effortless, fast, smart, and trusted by hundreds of satisfied users who have already discovered the amazing tool. Start your free trial today and watch Autoscriptor AI transform your YouTube channel. Just click the link in the video description below now. Number 19, Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley is often credited with popularizing rock and roll, but his relationship with black culture has been controversial. While he borrowed heavily from black musicians like Chuck Berry and Little Richard, he rarely acknowledged their influence. Some critics argue that Presley profited off black music while black artists were sidelined.
Why do so many black people dislike Elvis Presley? Elvis borrowed from the music of lesser-known black rhythm and blues artists that he heard as a teenager, like Big Mama Thornton and Big Joe Turner.
I did shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll.
Additionally, there have been claims that Presley once said, "The only thing Negroes can do for me is buy my records and shine my shoes." While this quote remains disputed, it has contributed to debates about his racial attitudes. Despite these controversies, Elvis Presley remains an icon, though many argue his success came at the expense of the black artist who paved the way for rock and roll. Number 18, Paula Deen. Celebrity chef Paula Deen's career took a massive hit after her racist behavior was exposed. In 2013, Deen admitted in a court deposition that she had used the N-word multiple times and had once planned a plantation-style wedding with black waiters dressed as slaves. The backlash was swift, with the Food Network dropping her and multiple brands cutting ties. Deen's half-hearted apologies did little to repair the damage. In interviews afterward, Deen shockingly seemed unable to grasp the gravity of her actions, further alienating her audience.
Celebrity chef Paula Deen, her career in ruins following her admission she had used a racial slur. So many sponsors dropping her now, and she has agreed to step away from her work at QVC. ABC's Steve Osunsami has the story.
Please forgive me for the mistakes that I've made.
Although she has attempted to rebuild her brand, Deen's reputation as a racist figure in the culinary world remains. Number 17, Michael Richards. Richards' infamous meltdown happened at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, where he targeted hecklers with racial slurs and violent imagery. Audience members walked out in disgust, and the video spread like wildfire. His apology on Letterman, where he appeared via satellite, was awkward, with Jerry Seinfeld even asking the audience not to laugh.
And did you?
I know. I mean, hearing your audience laugh, you know, and it's. I'm not even sure that this is where I should be addressing the situation. I've already heard you make some jokes about it, and that's okay, you know. But I'm really busted up over this, and I'm very, very sorry to those people in the audience. The blacks, the Hispanics, the whites, everyone that was there that took the brunt of that anger and hate and rage and how it came through. And
despite attempting a comeback, Richards never regained his status in Hollywood. In later interviews, Richards blamed frustration and mental stress, but audiences weren't buying excuses. But for many, his name remains synonymous with one of the worst public implosions in comedy history. Number 16, Donald Trump. Trump's history with race issues extends beyond his real estate controversies.
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white. A black may think that they don't really have the advantage. If I was starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black.
They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
He was a leading figure in the racist birther conspiracy, falsely claiming Barack Obama was not in the U.S. His presidency saw the rise of white nationalist support, with groups like the Proud Boys taking his "stand back and stand by" comment as encouragement. He also hesitated to condemn neo-Nazis after the 2017 Charlottesville rally, stating there were very fine people on both sides. In the 1980s, Trump took out full-page ads calling for the death penalty for the Central Park 5 black and Latino teens later exonerated by DNA evidence. As president, he referred to African nations as shithole countries and suggested 4 congresswomen of color should go back to where they came from, despite 3 being born in the U.S. and 1 being a naturalized citizen. Trump also promoted race stereotypes, such as referring to Mexicans as rapists when announcing his 2016 campaign.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. I want surveillance of certain mosques.
Negotiating with China. They say, we want deal.
His administration implemented the Muslim ban, restricting travel from several Muslim-majority countries. He repeatedly attacked black athletes like Colin Kaepernick for kneeling during the national anthem, calling them unpatriotic. Trump has also perpetrated race conspiracy theories, such as claiming that a black election worker in Georgia was rigging votes in 2020. He downplayed police violence against black Americans, dismissing concerns about systemic racism. Even post-presidency, Trump continues to use racial dog whistles, calling immigrants poisoning the blood of America and pushing xenophobic policies. His long history of inflammatory rhetoric fuels debates about his legacy and deepens divisions in race relations. Number 15, Hulk Hogan. The leaked tape that exposed Hogan's racism was part of a sex tape scandal. In the recording, he ranted about his daughter Brooke dating a black man using the N-word repeatedly. The backlash was immediate. WWE erased him from their history, removing his merchandise and cutting ties completely. His return in 2018 came with a backstage apology to the WWE locker room, but many wrestlers, including Kofi Kingston and Titus O'Neil, expressed skepticism. While Hogan remains a wrestling legend, his once heroic image has been permanently tainted by his racist remarks. Some fans will never let him live it down. Number 14, Liam Neeson. Neeson's disturbing confession during the Cold Pursuit press tour stunned audiences worldwide. He framed it as an example of past ignorance, but the sheer brutality of his words left audiences stunned.
Now, weeks after generating controversy, Irish actor Liam Neeson has released an apology for the remarks that he made in February while promoting his vigilante justice movie, Cold Pursuit. The actor had earlier discussed a past event in which he wanted to bait a black man into fighting him to avenge a close friend who had been raped. In a statement that he issued, Neeson has apologized and has said, and I quote an excerpt from his apology here, "The horror of what happened to my friend ignited irrational thoughts that do not represent the person that I am."
He described walking the streets armed with a weapon, hoping a black man would have a go so he could kill him. The backlash was swift, with many calling it proof of deep-rooted racism. Neeson insisted he was ashamed of his past thoughts, but the controversy overshadowed his movie's release. Though his career survived, the scandal remains one of the most bizarre self-inflicted wounds in Hollywood history. Number 13, Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg's racist past isn't just a single incident. He has a long history of radically charged violence. At 15, he and a friend threw rocks at black school children, shouting racial slurs. 2 years later, he brutally attacked 2 Vietnamese men, blinding one in one eye.
Back in the 1980s, Mark Wahlberg was involved in 2 hate crimes. In fact, he was convicted of 2 hate crimes and served some prison time for one of them. Now, in one of the cases, he and a group of friends chased down a group of mostly black 4th graders and threw rocks at them. One of those victims was Kristen Atwood, and she was among the group of mostly black 4th grade students on a field trip to the beach back in 1986 when Wahlberg and his white friends began hurling rocks and shouting racial epithets as they chased them down the street.
Despite serving only 45 days of a 2-year sentence, Wahlberg later sought to have his record erased, sparking outrage. He claims he's changed, citing his charity work, but his past actions continue to haunt him. Many critics argue that someone with a different background wouldn't have been able to escape his racist history so easily. Number 12, Rosie O'Donnell. O'Donnell's ching chong joke wasn't her only racially insensitive moment.
Hi, this is Rosie. Now that I'm no longer on The View, I gotta find something to occupy my time. So here's your joke. What do you call an open can of tuna fish in a lesbian's apartment? potpourri.
In 2009, she joked about black women's names, reinforcing racial stereotypes. Her 2006 remark about Chinese people sparked backlash from the Asian American community, with groups demanding an apology. While she did apologize, many felt it was insincere. Despite her outspoken advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights and progressive causes, her history of radically insensitive jokes has made her a controversial figure. Some believe her comedic style relies too much on punching down, making her activism seem hypocritical. Number 11, Alec Baldwin. Baldwin's history of racist and offensive remarks is often overshadowed by his other controversies. In 2013, he allegedly called a black New York Post photographer a racial slur, though he denied it. That same year, he was caught on camera using homophobic insults, which led to his MSNBC show being canceled. He has a reputation for aggressive behavior, with numerous altercations involving reporters, airline staff, and even his own family. Despite being a vocal critic of racism and social injustice, Baldwin's own past continues to be a stain on his public image. Number 10, Charlie Sheen. Sheen's history of offensive behavior goes beyond racial slurs. He's been accused of anti-Semitism, sexism, and homophobia. His 2011 rant against 2.5 Men creator Chuck Lorre included calling him Chaim Levine, a deliberate mockery of his Jewish heritage. Sheen later defended himself, claiming it wasn't anti-Semitic, but few bought the excuse. He's also been accused of using racial slurs toward black actors on set. His downfall due to drug abuse and erratic behavior also cemented his reputation as one of Hollywood's most toxic figures. Number 9, Ted Nugent. Shockingly, Nugent remains influential in conservative circles despite his toxic rhetoric. He has referred to Native Americans as unclean vermin and called South Africans fighting apartheid savages. His support for far-right extremism has made him a darling of white nationalist circles. In 2014, he referred to Barack Obama as a chimpanzee and has repeatedly claimed black people as responsible for America's crime problems.
I have obviously failed to galvanize and prod, if not shame, enough Americans to be ever vigilant not to let a Chicago communist-raised, communist-educated, communist-nurtured, subhuman mongrel like the Acorn community organizer gangster Barack Hussein Obama to weasel his way into the top office of authority in the United States of America.
Despite his offensive rhetoric, Nugent remains a vocal political figure, often appearing at conservative rallies. While his music career has faded, his legacy as an inflammatory provocateur remains stronger than ever. Number 8, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Chapman's racist rant wasn't just a one-time slip. It revealed a deeper pattern. In the leaked phone call, he justified using the N-word, saying it was common in his household. The recording sparked massive backlash, and A&E promptly suspended his show. Although he made a public apology and sought counseling, he later claimed he had a pass to use the slur because he had black friends. This only reignited criticism, making his apology seem insincere. While he eventually returned to television, his credibility has never fully recovered. His career serves as a cautionary tale of how racism can derail even the most popular TV personalities. Number 7, Jesse Watters. Watters' history of racist remarks extends beyond his infamous Chinatown segment. He has repeatedly downplayed police brutality against black Americans, dismissed systemic racism, and mocked indigenous cultures.
Saddest thing to see, because they're not able to work here. They came to work, but they're not able to work here. And the point is this. You have to be able to choose the people that come into the country based on needs. If you need this type of person, you need this type of, bring them in. But to just say, yeah, come everybody in, and then oops, now people are looking for, a 5-cent bottle.
In 2021, he falsely claimed Native Americans didn't have civilization before Europeans arrived. Despite the backlash, Waters has only gained more prominence at Fox News. His ability to spin controversy and to increase viewership has made him a key figure in conservative media. But his reputation outside of it is defined by his history of racist dog whistles. Number 6, Rush Limbaugh. Limbaugh's racist commentary wasn't just occasional, it was his brand.
The white race has probably had fewer slaves and for a briefer period of time than any other in the history of the world. No other race has ever fought a war for the purpose of ending slavery, which we did. Nearly 600,000 people killed in the Civil War. It's preposterous that Caucasians are blamed for slavery when they've done more to end it than any other race.
He once said the NAACP should have a happy meal on Martin Luther King Jr. Day and mocked black athletes for speaking of social justice. He also claimed Native Americans were greedy for wanting their land back. His long-running radio show built an empire on inflammatory rhetoric, making him a pioneer of modern right-wing media. Even after his death, his legacy continues through conservative pundits who mimic his divisive style. Limbaugh frequently spread racist conspiracy theories, including the false claim that Barack Obama was not a legitimate U.S. citizen.
How many people really think of Obama as black? He's not from the hood. He's not from the movement.
He also referred to Obama as a African American and suggested he only won the presidency because of affirmative action.
First president in history, to my knowledge anyway, who actually wants his nation to fail. Obama wants to create an illegal alien Bill of Rights. We're now governed by people who do not like the country. Who is Obama? Why is he doing this? Why? He wouldn't have been voted president if he weren't black.
He regularly played a song parody called Barack the Magic Negro, mocking black identity and Obama's political rise. He dismissed concerns about police brutality and claimed the media exaggerated racism in America. Limbaugh once argued that slavery had its merits because it kept black families together, a gross distortion of history. Beyond race, he attacked immigrants, portraying them as criminals and job stealers. He once accused Mexicans of spreading disease and mocked Native Americans' struggles with alcoholism. His rhetoric shaped decades of right-wing media, amplifying racial resentment for political gain. Number 5, Bill O'Reilly. O'Reilly's racism was often disguised as common sense takes on race. He frequently claimed black communities were to blame for their own struggles and dismissed racial disparities as myths.
When was the last time you saw a public service ad telling young black girls to avoid becoming pregnant?
72% of babies in African American community are born out of wedlock now. Why isn't there a campaign by you and the First Lady to address that problem?
His infamous visit to a Harlem restaurant where he expressed surprise that black people were running a successful business was widely mocked. Although his career ended due to sexual harassment scandals, his history of racist comments remains a defining aspect of his legacy. Number 4, Donald Sterling. Sterling's racist comments weren't limited to his leaked recordings. Former Clippers players revealed he had a history of making racist remarks, and he had been sued for housing discrimination multiple times. Despite his lifetime NBA ban, he walked away with a $2 billion payout after selling the Clippers, hardly a punishment. Sterling's criticism was well documented long before his infamous 2014 recording in which he told his mistress, V. Stavino, not to bring black people to Clippers games.
And to break apart later. I'm sorry that you still have people around you that are full of racism and hate in their hearts. I'm sorry that you're still racist in your heart. I'm sorry that you live in a world that's still. How about your whole life
every day. You could do whatever you want. You could sleep with him, you could bring him in, you could do whatever you want. The little I ask you is not to promote it on that and not to bring him to my games.
I don't bring anyone to the game.
Okay, then. There's nothing to argue about.
I know.
In the 2000s, he faced multiple lawsuits for housing discrimination, with tenants alleging he refused to rent to Black and Latino families. In one case, he allegedly told his staff to avoid renting to Black tenants because they smell and attract vermin. He settled for millions but never admitted wrongdoing. His racism extended to the basketball court as well. Former Clippers GM Elgin Baylor accused Sterling of running the team with a plantation mentality, underpaying Black players while showering white players with praise. Despite his disgrace, Sterling profited massively from his forced Clippers sale, turning a $12 million purchase into a $2 billion windfall. His story remains a glaring example of how racism often goes unpunished, if not outright rewarded, in wealthy circles.
And I'm here with you today to apologize and to ask for forgiveness for all the people that I've hurt. And I've hurt so many people, so many innocent people. And I've hurt myself.
Number 3, Roseanne Barr. Comedian and actress Roseanne Barr destroyed her career with a single racist tweet. In 2018, Barr compared Valerie Jarrett, a Black former Obama advisor, to an ape. The backlash was immediate, and ABC canceled her show, Roseanne, despite its massive success. Barr attempted to blame her comment on Ambien, but even the drug manufacturer distanced itself, tweeting, "Racism is not a known side effect of any Sanofi medication." It wasn't her first brush with controversy. Barr had a history of offensive remarks, including conspiracy theories and inflammatory comments about Muslims and the LGBTQ+ community. While she later tried to rebrand herself as a free speech advocate, yet her attempts to recover her image have largely failed, showing that sometimes apologies aren't enough. Number 2, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's past racist behavior nearly derailed his career. A leaked video from his teenage years, Bieber was seen singing the N-word and joking about joining the KKK.
Father's Day.
That's just mean. That's just straight.
Why are Black people afraid of chainsaws?
Don't even say it. Don't say
Run.
it.
You can say motorcycle too.
Although he later apologized and claimed he had matured, the video sparked outrage. The controversy resurfaced in 2021 when Bieber, now a vocal supporter of racial justice, was criticized for profiting from Black culture while having a history of racism. Some fans forgave him while others questioned the sincerity of his growth. Bieber has since aligned himself with social justice movements, frequently posting about Black Lives Matter. However, his past racist jokes remain an uncomfortable chapter in his otherwise successful career. Number 1, John Mayer. John Mayer, known for his bluesy guitar skills and heartfelt lyrics, faced significant backlash in 2010 after an interview with Playboy, where he made multiple controversial statements, including racial slurs and inappropriate comments about race and relationships. One of the most shocking moments in the interview was when Mayer, while discussing his connection to the Black community, said, "Someone asked me the other day, what does it feel like now to have a hood pass?" And by the way, it's sort of a contradiction in terms, because if you really had a hood pass, you could call it a N-word pass. This blatant use of a racial slur, despite his attempt to frame it in a discussion about race, was widely condemned. Many critics and fans alike were appalled that he, a white musician, would use such a word so casually. Following the backlash, Mayer apologized on Twitter and later on stage at a concert, saying, "I went as far as I could go, and I lost myself. I'm sorry that I used the N-word in an interview. It's such a shame that I did that."
I don't normally take to video to communicate with my fans. I usually prefer the written word, but This is a special circumstance. I wanted to send out a very special apology to specifically the fans who were here tonight. I'll get to those watching on YouTube later. It's just as disgusting when you watch it back. I wanted to apologize to the people who came to the show, the rather truncated, shortened show that none of us saw coming.
Though he has since tried to repair his image, these remarks remain a stain on his career. And there you have it, Hollywood's most controversial celebrities exposed. Did any of these surprise you, or do you think some of them deserve a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Want more shocking celebrity scandals? Check out our other videos. Links are in the description. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep questioning the stars you idolize.